Hello, everybody. It's meteorologist Jacob Campbell here with your Weather Now forecast. Today, we're looking at Saturday high temperatures at about 2 p.m., and it looks as though there's a little ridge that's going to be making its way down from Canada in a large portion of the Rocky Mountain and Great Plains areas, bringing with it temperatures in the 30s and 40s. The West Coast is going to be on the chilly side for what they're used to in the 40s and 50s, and that kind of pattern extends through much of the country into some of the Great Plains states and the Midwest, as well as the American Southwest, all the way down to the East Coast. And the East Coast right now, recovering from the nor'easter that just passed through, is looking in the 40s and 50s. If you're on the coast, if you're more to the interior and you don't quite get the warmth from the ocean, you're going to be looking in the 30s or 40s in the New England northeast area. We've got a small band of temperatures in the 50s and 60s here throughout some of the Southwest. It's much more prevalent in the lower Great Plains, as well as some in the Mississippi and Ohio River valleys, all the way down to the East Coast. On top of that, you've got 60s and 70 degree temperatures through the border between America and Mexico on the southwest, through the majority of Texas, southern parts of Oklahoma, down into these really deep south states. We're also going to have a chance to see some 80 to 90 degree temperatures in the 80s mainly, throughout Texas and parts of Florida and the southern tips of both of those states. Going on to the severe weather outlook, we do have a low pressure system that is bringing a dry line with it along the Texas, Oklahoma panhandle areas today. In all of these states highlighted in Wichita, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Kansas City, Springfield, and Little Rock, you guys are at the higher risk, but you really don't have to worry about much. Just expecting thunderstorms today, nothing super severe. Going out west into these western California, Oregon, Washington, and Nevada, you guys have another little system that's building out there that will affect the rest of the United States later in next week. You may see some thunderstorm and some rainy activity. However, most of what you get is probably going to be snow, freezing rain, and rain, because you guys, as you saw on the previous slide, are going to be in the 30s to 40s area. Just depends on how low to the ground the cold air stays. So, moving on to Sunday's temperatures. On Sunday, we've got this polar vortex that's going to be pushing its way down from Canada, and with it bringing some of these temperatures in the 20 to 30 range. It's going to start rearing its ugly head in the parts of North Dakota, and it's going to push these 30 to 40 temperatures further south into South Dakota. All in all, for the west, the Rocky Mountains, this is going to be a colder day for you guys, as you're going to see 30 to 40 degree temperatures throughout most of that. 40s remaining strong in Canada, in California. In Southern California, you guys are going to be seeing a little bit of a warm-up, 50s and 60s. This 60 to 70 degree band is really taking hold down here as we get some 70s to 80s pushing up from Mexico and the Gulf of Mexico into the interior of the country. The Great Plains is going to see a large variety of different temperatures, all the way from 20s to as high as 80 in southern Texas. And most of you guys will experience somewhere between 40 and 60 degrees. You got the 40 here in green, and you got the 50s here in yellow. The Midwest and the rest of the Great Plains, you guys are going to be experiencing around the 40s, maybe some of you peaking into the 50s. And the Northeast, the New England area, you guys are going to be warming up post-nor'easter. As you guys are going to see some 40 degree temperatures, maybe dropping down to the 30s and maybe possibly 20s for the nighttime lows. But high temperatures on Sunday, you guys are going to be seeing these 40-degree temperatures. Down the East Coast, in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, you guys are going to be seeing around 60-degree temperatures. Following south, just like you saw yesterday, 60s and 70s in parts of the deep south, as well as 70s and 80s, poking its way up in Florida. Now for the severe weather outlook. We have just a risk for thunderstorms for most of the Midwest and parts of the southeastern Great Plains. You guys shouldn't experience anything too bad. However, the area you want to look for is this area in the darker green here. This area has some decently high cape values and some higher wind shear, and those kind of combine to make ideal weather for severe storms. You guys are only at a marginal risk based on the National Weather Service's Weather Prediction Center, Severe Weather Prediction Center, Storm Prediction Center, that's the word I was looking for. And I personally think you could bump that up to a slight risk, but we'll see how that goes. If it does begin to worsen throughout the day on Saturday and Sunday, I may post another video letting you guys know what I think is going to happen here. I may even live stream on Sunday if it begins to look too bad. Then you have this second system that's beginning to push its way in from the West Coast. It'll affect Denver and Casper. Those are the two major cities that you'll see thunderstorms in. Once again, it's looking more snowy than it is rainy, but that may change as we get on through the week. These are Storm Prediction Center had it on there for Sunday. I'm expecting it to go away. However, anything's possible. I'll keep watching it and I'll let you guys know what I think. Now, for the temperatures on Monday, which Monday is the next day I'll be uploading a forecast video. On Monday, we have a little high pressure area in here as that low pressure pushes out. And you'll see some colder temperatures trapped in between all these 40 to 50 degree temperatures. But the real story of next week is going to be the polar vortex that's pushing in once again from Canada. It'll bring with it 20s and 30 degree temperatures as your highs on Monday. North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, you're all going to be experiencing this colder temperature as this polar vortex pushes its way through. Around those areas, you'll also see 30s to 40s. The polar vortex will make its way through during the nighttime, so unless you're out during night, you won't really experience some of these colder temperatures that are expected. As during the nighttime, you'll see these bands of, this light bluish going as far south as like Kentucky, West Virginia, Missouri. The South is still warming up too. There are areas down here that once again you'll still see your 70s to 80s. You'll still see 60s to 70s in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, so on and so forth. And this ever-shrinking band of 50s to 60s remains in the midsection of America, throughout America's heartland, and you'll see it's pushing up even further north in California, so you guys will experience some warmer temperatures than you've been getting the last few days, so you guys all have that to look forward to. On Monday, we'll be talking about the greater chance for this polar vortex to really set in for a couple of days on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I'll have that video out for you at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Monday. And stay safe, all of you who are in the Great Plains area. Feel free to shoot a comment, like this video, subscribe, do what you gotta do. And I will have another video out for you on Monday. Thank you all. Have a great day.